Welcome back, everybody, to Ultimate CNFT. Mike, aka Mr. Ultimate, here today, and we're talking about the Ape Society. I've got a big project update to share with you guys here on Ultimate CNFT today. This goes way back to when I was the pat on the back first person to do a dedicated YouTube video on the Ape Society. I've got a funny story to share with you guys. We'll get to that a little bit later, but we're going to talk about, where the Ape Society started, where they're at now and everything in between. We're going to be deep diving the Society token because I do believe this is the highest utility for a token in the Cardano ecosystem for CNFTs. And, I'd like to give a shout out to Cardman. Thank you so much. He's donated 5,000 Society tokens to be given away to my Ultimate Tier 3 membership YouTube club members. I appreciate all of you guys. If you want to know more about how you can join this membership, we'll talk about it at the end of this video. But right now, I've got a lot of information to share with you guys. So stick with me. If you have not liked, if you have not subbed, please do both and leave some comments below, you guys. Tell me what you think about the Ape Society. Why do you think this is such an OG project and how they've got to such this lofty top blue chip in the space? I can't wait to hear from you guys, and I can't wait to give away those 5K Society tokens. So thank you, Cardman, for doing that. I know you had to talk to Matassa and Ponzerati about that, but all three of you guys obviously decided to donate quite a bit of that to the channel. I thank you so much. So do my subscribers. I've had a great relationship with all three of these folks when they started their project from the beginning because, again, I kind of looked at this project when it started coming out and I thought this is going to be something special. I've got to admit, even I didn't think that they were going to accomplish all they have. So let's get into everything they've accomplished and we'll check it all out right now. All right, so before we get into the cabins and all the things you can do with them, and before we get into the utility of the Society token and everything that has basically been created by this awesome project, let's just talk about the main collection first. Now, on Ultimate CNFT, I'm always trying to get newer subscribers and newer viewers and newer investors into the CNFT space to come to my channel so they can be educated. I am an educator, not an influencer. So for educational purposes and all that you new people who just joined, let's check out the numbers first, and then I'll tell you that funny little story that I've got. So we've got 7,000 items. We've got 2,016 owners. The floor price is just below 10K, which is actually pretty massive for the Cardano space. This is a huge floor. Don't keep in mind that this project minted for 100 ADA. I'll tell you that funny story here in a second. And we've got 25.5 million volume. So if you look across the board and you dissect these numbers, this is great ownership dispersal, you guys. For those of you who want to know what it's like to look at these investments and see, the numbers again, this is great. These two numbers match up very well. Again, a huge floor price compared to the mint price. We're already looking at about 100x, and the volume is, well, it speaks for itself. So the Ape Society. Again, I was the first person to do a dedicated video on them, and I've made a lot of contacts, a lot of friends in this space, and I'm going to not call anybody out directly because I don't do that here on my channel, but it was real funny. I showed up in my DMs one day, and somebody was saying, hey, you know what, Mike, it's over for the Ape Society, and I'm like, what are you talking about? He said, well, they announced 100 ADA mint price, and I'm like, awesome. This is great. This is what we need in the Cardano space. Now, keep in mind, at this time, you guys, nobody was really minting for, upwards of 100 ADA. It was like, ooh, the 100 ADA mark. It's how crazy, what a reach it is to ask for that kind of money. Which now you look in today's world and we've got metaverses who haven't even developed anything yet, and a lot of promises, and nothing's really been delivered. You can't even, do much with what they've planned yet, and we're talking about people minting for upwards of multiple hundreds of ADA, even sometimes up into the 1,000+ ADA range. So it's interesting how fast this space develops, you guys. We're talking about a project here now that is an OG, a top blue chip in the space, minted for 100 ADA. People lost their mind. And for those of you who didn't mint this project and had the opportunity to be the OG minters of this project, RIP to you for being scared of a 100 ADA mint, because look at what's going on now. Rant over. I just wanted to share my story. It just goes to show information is everything. Understanding the market is very, very important. Again, educational purposes, you guys. That's why people watch my videos. Like and subscribe. Boom, let's go. So now we're looking at a 9,900 ADA floor. Let's go look into the nuts and bolts here. Now, keep in mind also, this project exploded to the over 15K range. The floor hit over 15K just a couple months ago when we had that big boom, with that big explosion. It rocketed this project. Of course, a lot of it had to do with the staking, with the cabins and everything that they implemented. We'll get to that here in a minute, but let's take a look at the floor here. Actually, before we take a look at the floor, let's go to CNFT Tools and take a look at the Ape Society. Okay, there's the circulation, 7,000, right? 330,000 ADA sales in the last 7 days. That is no joke. Now, this is what I want to focus on. Number on the market. We've got 7K. We've got only 138 apes on the market, you guys. That is less than a 2% share that is available to the public to buy. That creates a very thin floor. What that shows is this is a massively diamond-handed, hugely invested project. Some people who minted this project and then went out on the secondary right away and bought a ton of apes. Look, they've made millions. There are people who have literally made millions of ADA on this project. Congratulations to all of you. Shout out to all of you who saw the vision and understood where this project is going. Let's get back to the floor. So, very thin floor. We got 9,900, 2 apes away from a 10K floor, so let's just call it a 10K floor. And if you scroll down, it's not very long before you're busting back into the 12K range, through the 13K range, and then pretty soon before you know it, you're back to where this floor had an all-time high of over 15K ADA. This is the project that I believe, again, has gotten so many of the bigger investors from our big brother Ethereum to come over here and look and say, hey, there's a project going on over here that is very special. And if you're an investor and if you're smart, and we all know it takes money to make money in this world. It also takes, ADA to make ADA in the NFT world. A lot of people have done very well in this project. So that floor, before you know it, there's just not too many apes away. And I think we're going to reach an all-time new high, obviously, at some point in 2023. Nothing I ever do here is financial advice, you guys, but I just really want to showcase this is the perfect example of a massive success story in this space. Coming from a project who had the balls to come out at a time when nobody was minting for 3 digits, to come out there and mint for 100 ADA, and boom, it just goes to show what can be accomplished if you work hard and if you put everything you have into your project, which is exactly what the founders have done. They've built a massive ecosystem. They're always on space. They're always super proactive. And hey, look, congratulations where congratulations are due. Y'all have done a very, very good job. So that is your main collection. Let's go jump into the cabins next, and then we're going to be talking about that vaunted society token and everything you can do with it right now. All right, before we get to the utility of the society token and talk about how you can earn it and stake it and do all those great things, a quick rundown for those of you who are new to my channel and new to the space of the cabins. So these cabins came out at about 150 ADA mint. Now, owning apes gave you the first opportunity to mint these cabins. There are 3 different types. Sizes rather that you can use, and we'll get into all that in a second. But I just want to talk about, again, the success of a project and what you can do if you build the right community and have the right goals and achievements. So these minted for 150 ADA. The floor right now at 820. I saw the floor get as high as like 13 or 1400 right alongside when those apes were hitting 15K. That was when we had a big explosion again in the space, but just goes to show how quickly things can turn. Because if you look at something, you start to think, well, 10K, that's a lot. Well, the Ape Society has done something that nobody else in the space has done. They've allowed people to build these frames, and you can stake your other NFTs. There's a huge list of projects who are involved in this hugely, revolutionary concept, really, taking other NFTs and being able to stake them and earn the society token. Nobody else in this space is doing anything like that. So these cabins, they have value. So we've got 10,000 of these items. We've got almost 3K owners. This is almost 30% dispersity. This is good as well. For those of you, there's another example of what it's like to have ownership versus, the number of items on the available market. The floor is 820. That is very, very, very healthy, and almost an 8 million ADA volume. Let's go back to CNFT Tools, you guys, and let's go ahead and check out the cabins. So the cabins themselves have done almost 200,000 ADA in the last week of sales, and the number on the market is only 605. That's a 6.05% availability, and of course the floor on that gets pretty thin. So let's go back over here and check out the cabins. Well, I suppose we could do that on the light paper, but I don't see why not. So this is kind of complicated here. I'm not going to get into it on the video. You've got all these numbers down here, 87, Alma Terrace, SN28, P53. There's a heat map you can check out to find out the location of all of these 10,000, different, cabins that you can use to stake and everything. That's for another video at another time. There's plenty of people who have done plenty of coverage on this project for a reason. It is a blue chip. It is an OG. We'll get past that to another time, but I just wanted to let you guys know, for those of you who are looking to invest, you've got 3 different types of cabins that you can invest in. So let's go down here and just go down and check out the cabin size. You've got the chateau, there's only 1,000 of them. You got the estate, there's 3,000 of them, and you've got the cottage, there's 6,000 of them. So right now, what you're looking at, the floor for the cottages is 820. Let's go click on the estates and just see what the floor on the estates has gotten to. Wow, 1,800 already. I admit I'm one of those people that got myself a couple of these, and I sold it way too early thinking I could buy it back, and I never got that opportunity again. Now if I want to get back into it, I have to shell out 1,800 ADA. Thank God that I held on to so many of my other ones, but it just goes to show that if you don't know what you're doing and you think you're playing with certain things at the wrong time, trying to maybe make a little bit of ADA, you can end up losing out and getting and falling behind. So don't let that happen to you. Learn from my mistakes, you guys. I've got plenty of cabins, so again, I cannot complain. Let's go check out the floor price on the chateaus real quick. There's only 1,000 of these. Again, you can stake up to 10 of the frames, I believe, on this, so 6,000 floor. I remember when people were flipping these for under 2K at the very bottom. Smart investors were paying attention to that. They knew it was coming. And if you look how thin the floor is, it goes from 6,100 all the way almost to 7K, and you've only got 3 in between. Let's just keep scrolling down and see what happens. Boom. I mean, before you know it, you're in the 10K range. This project is ridiculous. It is the perfect example of a success story, again, for people who are working really hard to make something special in this space. So the cabins have been great. The main PFPs have been great. The utility's been great. Society token, this huge ecosystem. Let's go ahead and check it out here. We're going to go to the light paper, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this ecosystem and how you can be involved in it right now. All right, so let's get into it, you guys. What is society? Now, before we look at all this information I'm about to share with you guys as we wrap up this video, I do want you to know that I always implore everyone to do your own research. Look at the light paper. That's exactly what this is. We're starting all the way down with the society token. But for those of you who are new to the space and new to my channel, again, I'm always teaching people to do your own research. This is the best place you could ever hope for doing a deep dive on this project. I'm not covering everything on here for sake of time purposes on this video, but I think that you should do that. I think that before you make any sort of investment into anything, always do your own research. Don't listen to what I have to say. I'm just a guy making YouTube videos at the end of the day, but I give you the information to be educated on these things that I present you. So here it is right there. All the links will be in the description box below. So if you want a shortcut to it, just jump to the description box, hit that link, check out the light paper, read everything all the way down, and then we can get right back to what is society. No great society can exist without the unit of currency that unites it. The Ape Society token, known as Society, is a utility token that can be used for all transactions within the ecosystem. Built on the Cardano blockchain, it was launched in April of 2022, so we're still within the year of its creation, and a lot of people have actually made a lot of money buying and selling and exchanging and providing liquidity for this token. I know this because I've actually done that. I have a lot of entry and exit points within the society token. I'm also providing liquidity, and I've done very well. But for me, I have a very large and long-term overview look into this project. I think that it is undervalued. That's my personal opinion. There's been a burn mechanism that's about to take place. We'll look at that here in a second. I cannot give that financial advice. I can only tell you from examples of what I myself am doing. And I'm very invested in this token because, look, it's really hard to create value for a token that is attached to an NFT project in any NFT space. It's very rare to see something actually have a lot of utility. And the reason that I think that this utility has done so well is because it's gone beyond its own NFT platform. You can stake more than apes. You can take, well, let's just keep reading. You know I get fired up about it, but I get off track. Let's get back on track. So, perfect example. Any holder of our token can sell them on exchanges that they are available on, hold them, or use them to interact with the different sections of our ecosystem, cabins, and landmarks. Let's go ahead and blow this up here. Why own society? For owners of cabins, purchase furniture built by Ape Society craftsmen in our upcoming marketplace. Buy and upgrade usable NFT frames from level 0 all the way up to level 7. Frames then can be used for staking and placing in cabins. Participate in the upcoming Ape Society exclusive events for Society only. There's more. How do I earn Society? For Ape Society holders, stake your apes in frames through our upcoming web interface. We can already accomplish this now as of the making of this video. You can stake your non-ape NFTs from approved collections in the frames. This is where I want to stop and let it explain itself, but here's my explanation. So you got these apes, you got these frames, you got these cabins, you got all these things that are being interactive with the Society token. But the genius of, again, what this project has done to encompass basically the entire NFT space, because this is not limited to just your OG, your top, producing NFTs, your top volume NFTs. They've opened the door to basically a vast majority of the project in this space that have accomplished anything that's even worth speaking of. Teams that are obviously valid, people who have done, they've earned their place to be able to do these kinds of things. It's kind of a big deal to be able to say, hey, you can now stake our apes, our NFTs in the cabins through Ape Society and earn Society token. That was a big deal when this whole process was taking place. Everybody was hoping that they made the list, and I think they did a really good job with their selection. And again, they've opened the door to bringing simply more value to the token, because it's beyond just their ecosystem. They've encompassed everybody, and I think it's fantastic. This is why I started getting really excited about Society token, and I've got some pretty big entry points. And again, I'm a long-term holder, but it speaks for itself. The ability to create a system and involve everybody is so smart. It's so forward-thinking, and it really does open the door for more people to come over and take a look again at the Cardano NFT space, and that is what we all want to see here. So let's move on. Purchase a craftsman ape and build and sell 3D furniture assets for the upcoming cabins unit built on Unreal Engine. Stay tuned for our socials, and we will have cool ways for you to earn Society. I've got a cool way for you to earn Society. Well, the people who have already been Tier 3 paid subscription membership club members of my channel, my YouTube support channel, they're already going to be taking a share in some of that 5K that I've got to give away. Well, all of the 5K that I've got to give away. If you want to know more about that, shameless plug at the end of the video, guys. Let's just move on. But I've got 5K gifted to me from the team themselves. Thank you so much. Spreading the love around, involving everybody is kind of the theme of what they've built, and that's what I want to drive into people's heads, the theme of involving everybody to give volume, because supply and demand at the end of the day, that's what determines value across the board, no matter what asset you're looking at investing in. Supply and demand. If you can have a higher demand than a higher supply, you're doing well. And that's what I like to see. So before we move on, let's go ahead and just click this little tab. They've made it easy for you. It takes you straight to MinSwap. You can buy and you can sell your ADA Society tokens. So ADA, boom, Society, there it is, 0.0774 ADA per Society. So that's doing pretty well. You can see this chart. I think we got all the way up to, at the high, gosh, it was over 0.025, I believe. Did it get into the 30s? I think it actually did get into the 30s. I wasn't really paying too much attention because I was more of a long-term holder, and I got some entry and exit points on the way down and on the way up. I dollar cost average in and out of this particular token. It's really the only token outside of Clay that I'm invested in. But if I had my choice, this was the one that I would put at the top of my list as far as utility, value, and long-term goal. So here's the chart. Those of us who have experience and understand the way crypto works, or the way you would look at the stock market, or these charts basically tell you the action. And you can see there's some big booms and some big downturns, and there's obviously, because look, there's a lot of people who have done this right. They're staking, they're earning, they're buying, they're selling. Look, we're all here to make money at the end of the day, right? We're all here to have fun trading, buying, selling NFTs, investing, but time is more valuable than money. So if you're putting your time into something, you ought to make it. So you see these charts, you see these movements, you see these ups and these downs, and you go all the way back. You still can look at the history of this particular token, look at all these opportunities to buy and sell and make ADA. Like I said earlier in this video, it takes ADA to make ADA. This, to me, not financial advice, is a wonderful opportunity. If you play your cards right, you can make some good ADA, and you can continue to further become a better investor. So this is just one example of why this token has so much value. Let's get back to what we were talking about there. So let's go back and let's go look at a little bit more of the utility of the Society token. Use cases of the token right here. Frame to earn. Buy frames with society. So if you got some society, you go and you buy these frames, right? Of course, you have to have the cabins to be able to do that. We've already looked at them. There's 3 different kinds. There's different amounts of frames that you can stake within each one of them. And of course, we know that you can involve a lot of your other NFT projects. So you buy the frames in order to stake your ape or non-ape NFT and earn daily rewards. Daily rewards, which is really nice. Holders can also upgrade frames to increase their society rewards. Medium of exchange. Society is the only medium of exchange in the ape society ecosystem. Through the upcoming marketplace, cabin holders will be able to purchase and sell their assets with society. Landmarks. The society token will always be needed to interact with landmarks. We will support ADA as a secondary currency in certain landmarks, but ultimately it will all be converted to society. All the rewards distributed through holders and landmarks will be in the form of society. There's going to be plenty of future use cases as well, talking about the marketplaces, which we've covered a little bit right now earlier in this video. So the overview of the tokenomics. Ape Society developed a unique tokenomics to match a one-of-a-kind ecosystem. A lot of people like to say that they have a one-of-a-kind system, but this is actually a one-of-a-kind system, and it's been proved right here in the pudding. We'll take a look at it. Some examples include all society is burned when buying or upgrading frames. First ever 3-phase emission curve and dynamic frame pricing. Really cool. So now they've taken something and they've put it straight into the supply and demand curve. They're burning society tokens, 58 million so far as per the last announcement on the Discord. 58 million society tokens going to a burn wallet. Not right away, they're gathering all the information or whatever, but as people continue to buy and upgrade those frames, and some of them get pretty expensive. You go from 0 all the way up to level 7, and you get bonuses on those rewards. If you have some high valued apes and you have some high valued frames, you're crushing it, earning society and continuing to be a part of the system. So that burn mechanism is going to, in my personal opinion, again, not financial advice, give more value through supply and demand tokenomics. So let's look at the distribution here. So there's the staking rewards. The majority of it, 65%, is used towards staking. 455 million out of the 700 million total. There will never be more into the ecosystem. It's a deflationary asset. Again, supply and demand brilliantly broken down. The projector rewards 8%. The DAO, I really can't wait to make that DAO video. We'll save it for the time of this video. There's 7% for that. There's the airdrop. Now, I'm proud to say that I was an OG minter of this project. I did mint my max allotment of 3 apes. I've held on to those apes. I've gotten my airdrops. I held them through the entire 10 epochs, I believe it was. It was a no-brainer for me because I'm thinking, okay, I'm earning society token. And now at that time, I had no idea that this was actually going to be as big as it was. And I'm really glad that I took part in that. Again, information is everything, you guys. So stay up to date right here on UltimateCNFT for all the information you need on these kinds of projects to be making informed decisions. So the liquidity added was 3.5%. You can see that the team has gotten 3%. That's a great allocation for the team. Look, everybody deserves to get paid for their hard work. I know what it's like to develop and bring a project to light. It's a lot of work. It's like it dominates your life. Everybody deserves to get paid. Again, we're all here to make money at the end of the day. So the community incentives, 3%. They give them 3% to give to the community, which is really cool. On the TASPI, the double farm, the AF1 fund, there's so much involved here, but this is the entire breakdown of the entire 700 million society tokens that are in existence or whatever. And there you have it. You have a hugely robust system that ties in NFTs, and you can now stake those and you can earn, and you can take other NFTs and you can bring them in to the ecosystem they're creating. The staking rewards are reserved for the apes and the staked frames. The projector rewards, it's all broken down. We will be making a video on the DAO because DAOs are very complicated systems, but if anyone's going to run a DAO properly, I really do feel like the Ape Society is going to really do it and do it well. They've got a huge track record of so far doing nothing but that, coming out here, making a splash in the Cardano system, bringing eyes to this project, and of course, eyes are looking at other projects, involving other projects, and helping people stay involved. And at the end of the day, if you make the right decisions, you can make a lot of money with the right informed decisions. So thank you guys very much for joining me. I can't wait to update you more on everything that the Ape Society is bringing. Again, building their DAO. But thank you for the contributions, you guys. Look, if you want to join my system and find out how everybody earns a lot of free NFTs, a lot of whitelists. Join my Discord. The link will be in the description below, along with all the other links to Ape Society and everything that's going. For those of you who are new and you know that I've been getting ready to make this video, look, please leave some comments below. I love to engage with my people. Leave some thumbs up. You guys tell me again why you like the Ape Society. Tell me why you have maybe or have not invested, maybe why you're sitting on the sidelines, or maybe tell us a little bit about some of your success stories with maybe you're an OG mentor like myself. Maybe you held on to these. Maybe you got some cabins. Maybe you're just absolutely crushing it. Maybe you were lucky enough to mint one of those kings. Maybe you've got a Medici. I like to know these things right here on Ultimate CNFT. So join me below. Join me on the Discord, you guys. And hey, have a great day. Mr. Ultimate out. I gotta go. Peace and love. I'll see you next time.